Battle control initialized.
Hey people, 5 Aces here, and it's time for some Beaver Fever, if you know what I mean. No, seriously, that's the name that Barf has chosen for himself here. He has elected to Smurf, and we're about to witness a savage match between himself and Mr. NA. So, I don't need to introduce anyone here. This is Barf, this is the winner of RAGL Season 5 and 6. So probably right now the most competitive player in the entire OpenRA scene, and his opponent, established map maker and a distinguished, well, he's also the publisher of the Chrono, distinguished editor of the Chrono. It is NA, aka Barry Lyndon, aka Snow, aka Grass, aka Desert. There we go. It's probably all of his moves. So yeah, that's Barf opening up with an attack dog, and we are on the playtest indeed. So the playtest has gotten a lot of balance changes, which is why I wanted to highlight this particular replay. First off, dogs got fixed, hijackers got fixed, artilleries and V2s got a line of sight nerf. Well, technically all units got a line of sight change, but it affects V2s and artilleries the most. And how that works is, if a unit is frozen under the fog, like if an actor, like nice flank on the dog here. So, if you have scouted a building, and then you move away from it, you can still see it under the fog. And right now, if you target, if you just attack move, your artillery units are magically gonna know when enemy buildings have died, and are gonna move on to the next building. But that's no longer the case in the playtest. They are gonna keep firing onto the frozen actor under the fog until it gets revealed that it's no longer there. Also, enhanced refineries. You see there's lots of changes here. Enhanced refineries means that you can... the left-right disadvantage is now no longer a thing, but that's not a thing of the playtest. It's also kind of transparent. That's just the map here. That's got it modded in. So, also, F6 brings up a nice and handy army value graph. Then what else do we have here? Yeah, if I click on a unit in spectator mode, now you can see whether this is attack move or regular move. You can see all the different commands being issued. That's super awesome. Yeah, lots of big balance changes, and also the engineer is now no longer an escort mission. Instead, he is consumed upon capture. That's the only change that I don't like so much. It's kind of takes away from the early game, but keep in mind this is all playtest. Ooh. Barf going in, wanting to find the crush. That was super close. Just being halted here. I think just he targeted a random soldier in between. So anyway, double ref opener for NA, and Barf is now on 4 harvesters already. Jesus H. Christ. I think that's his middle name. If anyone knows the middle name, just PM me. Kappa Pride. Yeah, that's Grenadiers as well, just to take out the Wilderic, which... That's a problem too. If engineers now cost 500 and get consumed upon capture, then if you snipe an enemy oil derrick early on, you're just gonna basically make that a dead investment for your opponent. Whereas usually it was free money, because the engineer was still around to capture other things. So yeah, the kind of nerfs maps with offensive oil derricks, because like aggressive oil derricks are liable to getting sniped very early on. 5 harvesters now for Barf, and a little light tank push here. Wow, NA's only on 3 harvesters. So if he doesn't make it work, he needs to strike while the iron's hot here. Needs to just go in deep. Let's see, nothing has been scouted yet, and Beaver Fever is commencing the hijackers. Ooh. Also, hijack, he saw it there. He saw it, it was within barracks line of sight. Oh, hijackers are going in. I don't think that's the best target here. Move back, my friend. Yeah, they're super fast, which they've always been, but now their behavior has been fixed. Wow, 3 of them. And what they now do is they freeze enemy vehicles as soon as they come even remotely close. I think the freeze weapon has 1 cell range. So that just leaves me to question whether this hijacker has been revealed. Does NA know about it? He does have a pillbox queued up, so he should be fine. No shit, Sherlock, he does have a pillbox queued up because it's OpenRA. And good players usually have a pocket pillbox ready. But anyway, I digress. We've got 2 of the hijackers here, and the third one I think is... No. Oh, it's here. That's actually smart. He's using it as a counter hijacker, so in case your opponent gets off a tank heist, you've got multiple solutions. If you're allies, kill it and take it back with a mechanic. If you're Soviets, counter hijack it, right? So pretty cool dynamic here, and we're gonna see the freeze weapon. Yep, thank you, goodbye. It doesn't have an animation, but it just stops a vehicle in its tracks. Oh, but there's a big push onto the Conyard of Beaver Fever here. Barf is in a bit of peril. Alright, the tank is going in as well. Probably gonna live to kill the construction yard, lest he gets blocked off by the MCV there. Ooh, it's getting super low. One more volley. There's a hijacker! Oh! Was that friendly fire? Okay, outrunning with the veterancy bonus, he actually outran the hijacker. That was hype as fuck. So, yeah, that was clutch play by NA. Super well played. Barf is trying to find some snipe here. Yeah, ultimately this has been absolutely worth it for NA. Pushing back to one base, but Grenadiers in the main base have killed like a power plant. Not the biggest of deals. Okay, that's one of those units that finally got to work, and I really am glad that it didn't get benched, because I really love the hijacker. You can now purchase hijackers with the DLC. Purchase the OpenRA, the official OpenRA DLC for only 25 Tiberium credits. Oh, just don't run into the 5-stack. He ran into the 5-stack. Rip. That's the end of the legacy that the APC has left here. And as a result, Barf is going to take a more aggressive approach here. There is now an expansion out for NA. Barf doesn't have... He built tanks, but where's the unit mass for NA? I guess he needed to get an extra harvester because he got one nicked. And that's an asset swing as well. Because not only do you deprive your opponent of a vehicle that costs 1,200, 1100 I believe, you also gain a vehicle that costs 1100, so it's basically a 2200 asset swing. But Barf has found a snipe on the War Factory. Is he gonna go hard for this? NA is closing on in. Let's see how Barf decides to tackle this. He's going straight for the throat. He's going for the War Factory. And yeah, he's gonna get it as well. Barf seeth, Barf taketh. Oh, and the husks are now blocking NA from moving in to crush a bit more. Yeah, pocket pillbox is coming out, but the damage has already been done. He's invested so much money into those pillboxes in the backlines. I don't know why. That's not the logical attack vector for your opponent. So kind of iffy here. Also, he needs to get his tank production back online stat, because this can snowball in your favor. Sure, Barf has lost an army, but what that does now is it puts Barf back on a timer, so... Because he's got now time to replenish his army, he's got now time to fortify, and NA doesn't have vehicle production, and that just means that for the time being NA can't be aggressive, because without protection, never go in without protection. We've all learned that the hard way, Kappa Pride. Yeah, without protection your infantry are just dead in the water. So, NA playing an extremely defensive style. It's building Maginot lines left, right and center. I think that's not the right approach. I think against an opponent like Barf, you need to play smart aggression. You need to find his army and punish him. Because he sometimes leaves his main base completely unattended. He just... he's posturing with two armies, and this army is actually bigger, so NA could take the fight here. This is an easy win. But he doesn't know that, because it doesn't have scouting units, period. And also Radar Dome is far from coming online, so yeah. Oh, didn't talk about the map. That's Devil's Marsh, a new map. I think it's created by NA, right? Briefing? Yeah, must be it. Must be his own map. So, home map advantage here for NA. Barf is gonna move into the meat grinder, he's gonna lose a lot of assets here. And if I were NA now, I would recognize that this is not a big push. This is just a diversion. This is not gonna kill much, honestly. So he doesn't need to commit fully. He doesn't need full force commitment here. It's doing it anyway. Okay, this was not to mask anything. It's just honestly to buy Barf some time. He's got the better eco setup, and we're gonna, with the stolen ore truck no less, 11/7. 11 ore trucks is an insane number. That's more than you'll ever need. So unless NA makes some eco snipes happen, he's probably gonna be in a bit of trouble. It's already trading behind 10k. Despite him trading positively, it doesn't matter. Stealing a harvester from your opponent is such a big economical swing. Yeah, I think this is severely underrated. How strong hijackers are gonna be in the new meta, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm embracing it meta. Just telling you. Hijackers make the game spicy, because it's a really hit or miss unit. It either pulls off a really flashy play, or it dies trying. So, a unit after my taste. Okay, so Barf has... I don't think he's gonna run out of ore to mine on this map at that rate. Seriously. NA's got a better positioning here. He's also got the bigger army, but his tanks are in the back lines. His concave might be good though. Ooh, he's gonna be caught between a rock and a hard place. He needs to not move in any further. He needs to concentrate his forces. Nope, pulling back instead. And this defensive game here, let's look at how many defensive structures are littered about the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was like another 3, there's 12, 13. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you're Barf, you're floating hard anyway, so there's no reason not to do it. But if you're NA and you're kind of cash-starved because you're 4 harvesters behind, not the best of calls in my opinion. Ooh, Flame Tower stays alive. Yeah, I mean, he's scared of a tank flank, obviously. But needs to transfer his harvesters, like 4 harvesters on a dead patch. Ugh. Needs to get them over here, maybe here, more saturation, and also, this is the biggest chunk. This is a huge ore patch that you just can't afford to neglect. You need to take this in the game, else your opponent is gonna overpower you with macro. NA is still ahead in assets killed, but the army value is just spiking. Spiking to no end for Barf. That's just the way he likes to play it. Oh, is his MCV gonna get caught off guard? He has line of sight. He should by all accounts win this engagement. Doesn't appear to be the case for now. That Yak was a bit too optimistic. Yeah, but force is overwhelming. I think Barf is easily gonna clean this up. It's gonna clean shop here. And yeah, his tanks have just tanked for so much longer. You see, the DPS of NA didn't fire onto the infantry of Barf. It just fired on the tanks instead. So, easy engagement victory here for Barf, and that's gonna leave him in a dominant position. He can now finally move forward, take the expansion of NA, and slowly suffocate him. There's gonna be a little counter push. NA going in with his MCV. Yeah, applying pressure is a good idea. Maybe a Tesla coil. T-coil would just be the right recipe to dislodge him here. But he needs to do something. He needs V2s in my opinion. His primary concern should now be getting up a radar dome. That's not a radar dome. Ah, he's allies anyway. So, his primary concern should now be artilleries. Hey, there is V2s. V2 flag track transition. Husk of a heavy tank as well. Yeah, and Barf is just methodically closing it out. He knows he's got positional advantage, can now base push. He's gotta... Oh my goodness, he's gotta strangle the econ here. Yeah, NA can't move in. Just can't find the snipe on the Tesla coil either. It stays strong. Tesla coil stays strong. Man. Embrace the thief meta. It's coming. Little base push. Little base on base action right there. Hey, nice little flank. He's gonna find a harvester. A harvester. 2 more harvesters up for grabs, by the way. And now here comes the collapse of the entire army. 4 V2s. Let's count. How quickly is this gonna get killed off? And it's... Come on. Come on. God damn it. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting now, because there's gonna be line of sight advantage for Barf, but if he ever moves away... Ah! Bad time to undeploy the Yaks, we're just waiting for the strike here. Yikes. Yeah, Yaks could move back. Ah! Caught between a rock and a hard place. Too many bogeys here. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Because as soon as he loses line of sight with the Yaks, he's immediately going to start firing the ground where there's nothing anymore. Maybe we're gonna see a nice little display of that feature. Some call it a bug, some call it a feature. Ooh, that's unlucky. He didn't micro his Yak, and as a result the MCV is gonna get away here. Because the Yak could easily have been pulled to the north and then sniped the MCV as soon as it undeployed. But as it stands, what's that? Oh, utility pods can get killed? They can fall down, okay. Oh, he's trying to move into a very fortified position. This is fortified out of 10. I give this one a Maginot line out of 10. No, don't engage into that. Alright, we're gonna see now. As soon as he loses line of sight, he's got pretty good line of sight here. But as soon as he targets something that's in the fog, that's just what I wanna showcase here. Alright. So that would be a good call. He saw that killed. Never mind. This here though. Okay. So now, this is dead. To Barf it still is here, and now his V2s are gonna keep firing until he issues another command. This is the V2 artillery nerf I was talking about, so you need to exert a lot of prejudice and micromanagement and control over your V2s and artilleries now, because otherwise they are just gonna fire into the fog of war blindly all the time. They're not gonna get anything done. They're not gonna get jack shit done. GG being called, but the game is still on, so maybe, you know, one of those first GGs. Those have happened before. Those Yaks, I give him a 2 out of 10. Barf, you can do better. You can do better than this. Ede is still clinging on, but look at this on the right-hand side. There's an Iron Curtain deployed. There is mass infantry everywhere. And we're gonna take the acid check. Ah, there's a Mammoth. There's a MiG. He's pulling out everything in the soft arsenal. It's just like, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's a 3 times acid advantage. That's just gross. That should be illegal. Pretty sure that's banned in most US American states. So Barf, CPS is gonna be knocking at your door, buddy. Yikes. That's just brutal. That is a display of force here. Yeah, he methodically suffocated him. And without artillery, there's just nothing that NA could have done. He could have waited for his artilleries. Is he producing any? But I know he's not a big fan. GG being called anyway. Second MiG coming just online. Alright, that was an insane game, and that was also a nice display of what the hijackers are now capable of. So this is gonna leave us with a nice faction distinction now. Because the golden rule is now gonna be, you have to scout. If your opponent goes random, you have to scout. Are you up against Soviets or against allies? Because against Soviets, your game plan is to protect all your ore fields, and it's not that hard to defend. Really, just put 2 or 3 riflemen into your eco lines, and if an opponent comes with an APC, you should have enough time to run away by the time he's unloading it. And if you're up against allies, conversely, your game plan should be scorched earth. Never leave a husk behind. So I think this now justifies the feature of the mechanic staying in, where he just recaptures husks, without the Soviets having a counterpart to that. Because now both factions have like their distinct gameplay features that you need to keep in mind. And I really like this balance. Still, the hijacker is probably going to get speed nerfed, because let's look at it that way. He's a marathon man right now. It's like this cape gives him 20% to speed. He is faster than... No, he's, I think, the same speed as medium tanks, but the way it works, I think, is regular vehicles get a movement penalty on normal terrain and only have normal speed on roads. So on roads, the medium tanks is the same speed as a hijacker, but you can't rely on there being country roads everywhere. This is not West Virginia. So yeah. Awesome. Let's see what the future brings, and let's hope for more playtesting games, because this got me hyped. Also, a quick announcement. I'm gonna be on a streaming break, so my regular YouTube content is gonna come out just like normal. The stream highlights are gonna come out as normal, but I'm gonna be on a streaming break for the next 2 or 3 weeks. The reason being that I'm going to be a father and my baby is gonna get delivered, I think, next summer, around next week, if everything goes according to plan, which means that I'm going to be in a very new situation. There's going to be a little new family member, which I'm gonna train in the ancient art of RTS, obviously. And yeah, she's gonna be our new family member, so let's see how that works out. And for the first 3 weeks, where she's still extremely fresh, I don't want to do any long or loud streaming, so 2 or 3 weeks until everything is normalized, then I'm gonna be back to schedule. Right, thank you guys for watching, see you next time. 5 Aces, out.
Battle control terminated.